At 12, the news at 5:30 starts right now.
New at 5:30, police say they arrested a man who shot someone for trying to steal a tip jar. This happened just before midnight last night on West Hildebrand Avenue between I-10 and Blanco Road. Officers tell us a 29-year-old man attempted to steal a tip jar from a business but left before police arrived. An hour after police took a report from that business, an employee spotted the suspected thief and shot him in the chest. The man was taken to the hospital. No word on how he's doing this afternoon. The employee was arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Two parents are in custody after a 2-year-old child was found wandering alone in South Bexar County. BCSO tells us deputies went out to the area of Eutrophic Circle, a neighborhood off of I-37. That's where they found the child walking around in a diaper with no parents in sight. The child was taken to a hospital as a precaution, and the parents are currently being questioned. BCSO adds Child Protective Services has been contacted. A Texas A&M professor is behind bars and in jailhouse scrubs, which is more than what police say he was wearing on the University of Texas campus, which is why he was arrested. Russell Taylor Johns was arrested on Wednesday after allegedly exposing himself while staring at 2 female UT students in April. That's according to an affidavit. A Texas A&M spokesperson said Johns was hired after the April incident, but that they had no knowledge of the allegation at the time that he was hired. He has since been suspended by A&M and has not taught classes there yet. When the incident took place, the professor was reportedly a visitor invited by a UT engineering department. Johns now faces charges of indecent exposure. A man is dead and another is in handcuffs after a stabbing outside a New Braunfels dance hall. Officers say this happened just after midnight in the parking lot of a Legends dance hall. Police explain a large disturbance occurred, and at one point a 52-year-old man was stabbed. He later died at the hospital. Police arrested 55-year-old David Saldana for the crime. He's been charged with homicide. The motive for the stabbing is still unknown. And we see it all too often. Lost dog flyers in person and on social media. We also hear a lot about artificial intelligence. Well, now that technology is helping reunite owners with their missing dogs. KSAT's Madeline Lambert spoke with a woman who was able to bring her dog home after it was missing for more than a month, all thanks to AI.
Just ran, she took off running, and she got out of the gate and she was lost.
Juliet Gonzalez lost her elderly dog, Sandy, during the major rainfall San Antonio got on June 12th.
And we've been driving around the neighborhood, but we didn't find her. So it was very scary.
Sandy is partially blind and hard of hearing, which made Juliet worry even more during the several weeks she was missing.
I was hoping that somebody, since we weren't seeing her in the neighborhood or anything or at the shelters, I was hoping somebody took her in and was just caring for her.
It wasn't until Juliet heard about a free program called Love Lost. It's partnered with Petco to find or report missing pets.
If the pet is ever lost, or if the pet is lost, right, and they're uploading that information, the database actually uses, the technology to then search.
Rene Moreno is the chief of staff at Petco Love Lost. He says more than 100,000 pets have been reunited using their AI-powered tools.
In the case you're looking for your missing pet, or if you're trying to help someone find their pet, you can go to petcolove.org online. It's free, and that's where you can go to submit all your information.
So that's what Juliet did. She said she checked Love Lost daily for 2 weeks, never losing hope that she'd find her dog.
Luckily, we were off that day, and first thing I did is I looked on the site, and her picture was the first one that popped up. And I was like, that's her, that's her.
And just by uploading some pictures, the tool uses AI to find a match to ultimately reunite pets with their owners.
Especially like with fires or floods where there's the pet might have gone through some damage or trauma, burns or whatever, it's still even making some matches too.
Juliet's story offers a glimpse of hope to others who may still be looking for their lost pets. Madeline Lambert, KSAT 12 News.
Any sense of hope and trying to get people reunited with their pets is always a good cause and a good movement. Happening tomorrow, the Together for Texas concert. It'll be at the Tobin Center, and all proceeds go to local flood relief efforts. Tickets start at just $35, and if you can't go, don't worry. You can catch the concert live on KSAT 12 and the free KSAT Plus app. But because of the benefit concert, some of the ABC programs that normally air on Monday will be moved to a different time. So Bachelor in Paradise will air at 1:35 Tuesday, and Are You My First will air at 1:35 on Wednesday. Still ahead, President Trump gearing up for a meeting with Ukrainian leader Zelensky and other European leaders. What this meeting could mean for the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. In the state of Texas, opening one of the largest migrant detention facilities in the country when the so-called Lone Star lockup will start filling with detainees. Next. A migrant detention facility at an El Paso military base will be accepting its first detainees this weekend. Dubbed the Lone Star Lockup by Republican Senator John Cornyn, the facility at Fort Bliss is the largest migrant detention facility in the nation. It comes after months of delays in construction. Hundreds of migrants are expected to be placed there today, with plans to increase the facility's capacity to 5,000 detainees in the near future. Just days after sitting down with Russian President Vladimir Putin, President Trump will welcome Ukrainian President Zelensky and other European leaders to the White House tomorrow. During that high-stakes summit with Trump, Putin made demands for territory that Ukraine is not likely to agree to. Here's ABC's Alex Perche with the details from the White House.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is set to meet with President Trump Monday in the Oval Office.
In order for us to get a peace agreement, Ukraine has to be a part of it. They have to be included. They have to be involved. That's why the president called them on the phone immediately after we got on the airplane. Within an hour, he talked to them for long periods of time. That's why President Zelensky will be traveling to Washington tomorrow, along with several European leaders as well, to continue to work on this.
His visit coming just days after that summit between Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin. Ahead of that meeting, President Trump had vowed to push Putin for an immediate ceasefire and for a trilateral meeting with Zelensky, warning of severe economic consequences if the Russian leader did not cooperate. The Trump administration calling for a so-called peace agreement, and it says it's not planning any sanctions as of now. Russia already occupies 1/5 of Ukraine's territory. Sources tell ABC News that during the summit, Putin demanded Ukraine give up the entire Donetsk region in the Donbass in exchange for halting offenses elsewhere and further attacks.
Russia right now is trying to achieve diplomatically what they cannot achieve militarily. They are not able to take the rest of the Donbass and haven't been able to do so in the last 3+ years.
In 1995, the U.S., Russia, and the U.K. pledged to respect Ukraine's independence, sovereignty, and existing borders and offered security assurances. That pledge was broken in 2014 when Russia occupied Crimea and other parts of the east, and it was broken again when the war began 3.5 years ago.
Russia is still unsuccessful in Donetsk region. Putin has been unable to take it for 12 years, and the constitution of Ukraine makes it impossible to give up territory or trade land. So far, Russia gives no sign that trilateral will happen.
Zelensky says if Russia refuses, U.S. sanctions must follow. The administration believes that if they were to place sanctions, conversations would halt. Alex Perche, ABC News, Washington.
And taking a look at live cam right now, the ticker at the bottom of your screen is saying 100 degrees. There's a few clouds out there, obviously not enough to keep the heat away.
I mean, JP, it's August. We're used to the summer. Now, the official temperature hasn't come in yet from the San Antonio airport, but like you just said, it is still 100 degrees in San Antonio. Take a look at other areas. 105 in Carrizo Springs, 104 in Cotulla and Laredo, but we're feeling like we're 108 in Carrizo Springs, 108 in Cotulla, 108 in areas of Laredo. Feels like 104 in San Antonio. Now, once we do get the official climatology report, this will be the 15th day so far in 2025 where we will have hit 100 degrees or more. But take a look at this statistic. We are starting to see the decrease in our temperatures, slowly but surely going to start to cool down past today. I'll talk about the decrease of temperatures we can see coming up later this week and why we're seeing it coming up after the break.
Welcome back at 5:43 on this Sunday, and as we know, it's middle of August, now heading to the end of August, and to be expected. We're very hot, but there is reason to have a little bit of hope throughout the week.
Yeah, so I know a lot of kids, when they go to school, they're like, well, it's going to be hot in the afternoon, so how do you plan for the temperatures just to wear to school? Now, the good news is we are in August, so we are starting to see the decrease of our temperatures slowly but surely as we get to fall and then winter, and so far, we've only had, including today, 15 days of 100 degrees or warmer. Well, starting August 1st, August is the hottest month for us here in San Antonio, and August 1st is right around the peak of where we normally see the warmest temperature. And then we start to see the temperature start to cool down. We start to see the temperatures really feel more fall-like, as fall as you can get here in South Central Texas. But we are still in hurricane season, so we're still getting the tropical moisture and that Gulf moisture sitting in areas of South Texas, and that's going to start to be a factor for us tomorrow. Temperatures in the morning still sitting in those 70s, already near 90 degrees by lunchtime. And then, like I mentioned just a few seconds ago, that Gulf moisture is going to start to play a factor tomorrow with the first of many rain chances. Only about a 20% chance of rain tomorrow, but our air temperature is still expected to be 100 degrees. So it's still going to be feeling much warmer, and it's still going to be feeling muggy as well. Now, like I mentioned, that's just the first of many rain chances you can expect throughout the week in South Central Texas. And it's going to be very isolated. So here's why. That heat high that was sitting over areas of South Texas is going to finally push off, and even by tomorrow morning at about 8 a.m., it's just going to be closer to the Four Corners area. And as that heat high moves over, that's when we start to see a little bit of that wraparound, but really that Gulf moisture start to sit and sink into areas of South Texas. That's going to be tomorrow afternoon. We get a little bit of a break Tuesday morning. But once again, Tuesday afternoon, even getting to Wednesday morning, we see that condition and that similar instance where we see more activity in the afternoon into the overnight hours. Wednesday, though, is going to be a little bit of a change in the weather pattern. We're starting to see a few more showers start to spark up Wednesday morning, and that's going to be a little more widespread showers and a little more stagnant showers throughout the day. And Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're anticipating seeing more widespread showers and a little more active conditions. Take a look at Thursday, seeing more showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. And even as we go into Friday, we really don't get much of a break. But here's the thing. It is still a week away, so things can still change ever so slightly, and that's why you're going to want to check back with us, because we'll continue to keep you posted as we go through. Now, the good news is by the time we get to Friday and even into Saturday, the rain chances start to lighten up. Still about a 20% chance, though, as we go into next weekend, because there's still going to be excess moisture sitting in areas of South Texas. But if you don't like the heat, here's the good news. Yes, we're still going to be 100 tomorrow with the rain chances, but take a look at the temperatures throughout the week, even with the rain chances. 95 and 93 on Thursday and Friday. So I know a lot of people don't like the triple digits. Well, even though it's still going to be rainy, so you might not be able to go out and enjoy the entire day outside, you'll at least be able to enjoy a little bit of a cool down later on in the week.
As long as we get down to double digits, you're right, like you said, any little bit of reprieve out of triple digits is a win. Hopefully, as we mentioned, we're still in a drought, so the rain is still needed in certain areas. Yes. So we'll look for the best and hope for the best. Thanks for that, Shelby. Now, shifting our focus over to the NFL, there's rain chance possibilities, something that's not a possibility. Everyone knows Joe Milton is a for sure stud and talent. The consistency, though, that's where people have their questions.
Yeah, it's fun to see Joe Milton play football sometimes, other times not so much. And coming up, we're going to analyze how Milton performed week 2 for the Cowboys preseason and where Coach Brian Schottenheimer is at in deciding his backup QB. And D'Amico Ryan shares how the Texans will approach their week 3 preseason game. That and more after the break.
Camping with KSAT, powered by Thomas J. Henry.
The Dallas Cowboys dropped to 0-2 in the preseason after yesterday's 31-10 loss to Cooper Rush and the Baltimore Ravens. The Cowboys defense forced 2 turnovers, but offensively, 25-year-old quarterback Joe Milton struggled in his second preseason start for Dallas, finishing 9 for 18 for 122 yards with 1 interception and a sack for a safety. Milton's first half performance was particularly rough. The former Patriot completed just 2 of 8 passes for 14 yards with a 0 passer rating. And this right here was the ill-advised end zone interception into double coverage that highlighted his inconsistencies as the Cowboys try and decide who will back up Dak Prescott in 2025, Milton or Will Grier.
If it wasn't for the interception, I feel like it would have been a smooth C+. But right now, I still feel like I give myself a D, just because I got to clean my eyes up and just understand that if a boundary safety do roll down on that side, just expect something over top if it ain't cover 0.
I feel like I don't have to decide anything today. Going to keep letting these guys practice. I just told the guys get ready because a couple practices this week are going to be really physical, and we have to. But it's like all these position battles. We don't have to decide anything now. I think like with the receivers, we were trying to get a good look at a couple of those guys that were fighting for those spots, and I thought a couple guys stepped up and did a nice job.
Well, the Cowboys' run game was also ineffective, producing a mere 51 yards. A lot to work on ahead of Dallas's third and final preseason game on Friday against the Falcons. Well, the Texans' starting offense was crisp and the defense was stifling in their convincing win over Carolina yesterday afternoon. C.J. Stroud, entering year 3, was 6 for 8 for 44 yards, including a touchdown to Pro Bowl wide receiver Nico Collins on the second drive. Meanwhile, Houston's starting defense allowed just 1 first down across 3 series, holding Bryce Young to 0 completions and a sack. Now looking ahead to week 3, the Texans are at the Lions, and here's what head coach DeMeco Ryans had to say about what the focus will be in the team's final primer before opening the regular season against the Rams.
Game 3 this week coming up will still be about us taking another step as a team. This week we'll have the opportunity to go up and practice against the Lions at their place, and we'll get to play them next Saturday. So again, just looking to see, what that game will be. We'll see how the week goes to see who's playing in that game. Are we utilizing the starters in that game or not? I'll just go back through, watch the film today, see where we are, see who needs more reps, and then we'll let the guys go compete one more time.
By the way, today the Texans front office dealt receiver John Mechie III to the Eagles for tight end Harrison Bryant in wake of Brevin Jordan's season-ending injury. Picks were also involved. Well, the struggles continue for San Antonio FC. Last night against Lexington SC, an early mistake was the difference. The match's lone goal came in the 9th minute when a long throw-in from Lexington's Kendall Burks, familiar name, forced an own goal by SAFC's Nicky Hernandez. Despite SAFC holding possession at a 62% margin and outshooting Lexington 11-9, the club couldn't create clear chances, thus resulting in their 4th shutout of the season.
It's unacceptable. We have guys with a lot of experience out there to manage that part there. So we need to do better.
Obviously it's not a good feeling losing at home, especially this part of the season. Don't matter who's on the field and stuff on the pitch. You want to give 110% and show who SAFC is, and especially at home. This is a fortress. I think it's one of the best places in the league to play. Can't stress enough how winning at home, especially when the business end of the season is rolling around, how important it is to kind of get the momentum going at home.
The club will try to bounce back Wednesday in a USL Cup match against Hartford Athletic. And at halftime yesterday, SAFC announced the re-signing of Santiago Patino to a multi-year deal. Patino is the club's all-time leading scorer. All right, let's check in with some afternoon baseball scores. The Astros shut out 12-0 by the Orioles. Big game from New Braunfels alum Jordan Westberg in that one. The Rangers get their revenge in the series finale against the Blue Jays, winning 10-4. And in Texas League action, the Mission snapped a 10-game skid with an 8-1 dub against the Tulsa Drillers. Cornerstone volleyball head coach Mike Carter has become the 3rd winningest coach in Texas high school volleyball history, eclipsing 1,117 victories after the program's most recent win in the Ann King Invitational Tournament in Hawaii. And coming up tonight on the Night Beat, meet the food artist behind the San Antonio Spurs 2025-26 schedule release video. She's a mom turned food artist thanks to her creations for her son going viral. Our conversation with Lale Mamedi tonight in sports. She was awesome. She's Australian based and very talented.
Was that ketchup for the Atlantic Hawks?
I think jelly or something like that.
That's awesome stuff. Also, bad day for me to wear Astros dress socks with that beat down that they had to take. And real quick, John Mechie, great story there, right? Because he got drafted by the Texans. He overcame, battled cancer. Didn't look like he was going to get a starting opportunity with the Texans. Maybe he can do something with the Eagles.
Yes, hopefully.
We'll get to check that out against the Cowboys.
Yes.
Game 1 of the season.
Game 1.
Mary, I don't know if you know this. I'm pumped to have the NFL back.
Me too. I am. It's been great. It's finally, you can feel the excitement. Love it.
Awesome stuff. Thanks for that, Mary. We'll be right back. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you tonight on the Night Beat.